And with our first story, we might as well go and talk about what is possibly the biggest news that happened last week. For a few years now, people have been highly anticipating to see their first ever look, to know what this movie is going to look like, to know how this is going to be, because there is a whole lot of anticipation for this one. I would even argue that it could be the most anticipated movie of 2023, or at the very least, the most anticipated animated feature of 2023. Yes, even more so than Disney's Wish and Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. But considering that recently we had New York Comic-Con, Illumination decided that it is at that point it would be the best time to give audiences their first ever look at their highly anticipated feature. So without further ado, let's go ahead and begin this by taking a look at the teaser trailer of Super Mario Brothers movie. So let's go and check this one out. And that is the Super Mario Brothers movie, to which the feature film will be released on April 7th. Now, if you are subscribed to my main channel, Electric Dragon 505, you may have seen on Friday that I actually uploaded a first reaction to it, because I remember back on October 6th, which funny enough was the day after my birthday, I decided to go and do a live stream here on Twitch where we would all come together and just check out the Super Mario Brothers movie teaser trailer together. And I just gotta say that in terms of my first reactions, I was blown away by what they have presented. Maybe not perfect, but so far I was very much impressed with what they have shown, both as an animation fan and as a Mario fan. And now that we did all have some time to let what we have witnessed to really simmer and like fully register in our heads what we have seen, I'm just going to say right now that in terms of the first look, in terms of our first impression of what the teaser trailer has delivered to us, I think, oh my god, Illumination really nailed it. I think the first thing I need to go and discuss is regarding the animation. Because I know a lot of people have a lot of criticisms when it comes to Illumination, but Illumination is one of those studios that when they can make good animation, they can really make great animation. And funny enough, like when I do think about Illumination's best animated moments, I actually think back of their weakest movies that they have done, like The Grinch or The Lorax. When thinking back of those movies, like their animations, like I may not be fans of those films, but their animation is amazingly good. Like the color palette of the Lorax, the Dr. Seuss style design that they made it accurate for 3D animation. Just like the whole visual aesthetic that they created on the Lorax is just downright beautiful. Like I would even say it's probably the best looking Dr. Seuss movie, like probably on par with Horton Hears a Who by Blue Sky. And then there is The Grinch. Like one of the best animated moments by Illumination was the scene when the Grinch would go and steal presents down at Whoville. That is probably one thing I would say it even has a leg up compared to the Jim Carrey 2000 movie, or even like probably on par with the original Chuck Jones cartoon. Like that was a lot of fun. It was highly creative, and I love all the different ways that you see the Grinch just going around like Who house after Who house, just taking all the presents. So my point with all this is to say that, again, when Illumination can make good animation, they can make great animation. And so far, what we have seen with the animation in here, it is amazing. Like, this is the kind where we see, like, this highly detailed world. Like, what I'm showing here is Mushroom Kingdom, and you see like how it is pretty much built exactly like how you would expect from the games. Like you see all the different areas. Like you do get a bit of a better look, like when you get a close up of this like small mountain here, in which on top you see Peach's castle. So, but just even like this is gorgeous to see, like with all the different mushrooms that are everywhere, with all the different colors. The color palette is also very reminiscent to the Mario games, where it's both natural but also very vibrant, where the colors really do pop out, like all the different reds, the blues, the greens, especially. Like this is the kind where it knows that good balance, where the colors themselves actually really do stay true. So already this is just gorgeous to see. And another great example is actually with Bowser's Fortress. Like that's another one that looks absolutely amazing. Like that in itself kind of looks like a legit level, where and then like you got the Penguin Fortress, like that's right next to it right over here. Like you see that massive contrast between like fire and lava and ice and snow. And like already just the production design of it, the visual aesthetic, it is beautiful. But then you got the characters, and oh my god, the characters look amazing. Like in here, it's like some familiar, but it is slightly different. Like when you do look at characters like Kamek, or probably the best example of them all has to be Bowser. Like you look at him, and oh my god, like you can easily identify, you could recognize that this is indeed Bowser. And not only that, but there's also a little bit of a difference where it is a bit upgraded for the feature film. So it's not exactly like the same graphics that you would get in either like Super Mario Odyssey or any of the more recent Mario games, but you do get something that, like, it feels like this is legit a Mario movie. This is what the characters would look like in a Mario feature film. And they really nailed that with Bowser. And even with some of the other characters that we have seen, like, I would even say the same thing with Mario. Like, this is undeniably Mario, but you could tell that the details are very much upgraded. Like, you see the folds on his shirt. You see that like, it isn't just like a plain red sweater that Mario was wearing. It's like a legit collar. You see like the little hairs on his mustache. Like you see, like, it is Mario, but it's a lot more detailed in a way that it is legit pleasing. And here's another shot of like Mario you see in his full form. It's the exact same Mario. Like, yes, this is legit a Mario that you would expect coming from a movie. This looks amazing. And even Toad, I would even say the same thing, where like it really feels like Toad has a lot more depth. And some people have commented, funny enough, like you look inside his mouth and like you notice that like it's a lot more detail, where now Toad also has teeth, which I can understand. Some people may think it's a little bit unnatural to see, because since when did Toads ever have teeth? But still, he looks amazing as well. It's like, it's highly detailed, but also very familiar, where this is the Toad that we all know and love from the Mario games. And I could go on and on, but so far I feel like with what we are seeing in this teaser trailer, the animation, they have nailed it. And it is visually pleasing. It is beautiful, and stays very true to what we have seen in the Mario games. Like, this really does, like, now for the first time we are seeing a Mario movie and it looks amazing. So like there's like no alterations. It's not trying to be gritty. It's not trying to be like the live action feature where they're trying to make some weird updates in order to appeal to older audiences. No, they are staying true to the games. Like, you could tell that Nintendo kept a very watchful eye on illumination to make sure that they did not mess up. And so far, I just want to congratulate the animators at Illumination, because you could tell that they also put their heart into it, that they are also major Mario fans, and they really want to go and succeed at making a beautiful looking Mario movie. So we could trust that the animators for this movie, they're going to do a phenomenal job. And then there is the casting, because that's another thing that's heavily been talked about. Let me just go and start off with, of course, going back to our boy Bowser here. And as we know, like amongst all the cast announcements, you probably do recall that probably Jack Black is the only one that people seem to be pretty cool with. And listening to how he is in this, it really does justify why having Jack Black as Bowser is actually a pretty good idea.
Open the gates!
And here, let me go and show you another example. Right over here when he has the star.
I finally found it. Now who's gonna stop me?
So from there, like, you could tell there is that Jack Blackness in him. Like, you could tell that, yeah, it is Jack Black, but with a lower and more gruff voice. But still, you could buy the fact that this is Bowser. Like, from all the years that you would hear Bowser's grunts, rather it be like in Mario Odyssey and Mario 3D World, or some of the spin-off games like Mario Kart, Mario Party, or whatever, like, you could buy that this is legit Bowser. And not only that, the fact that it is Jack Black, you can hear just from those small lines that he is having a lot of fun, that he knows that he is playing Bowser and he's having the time of his life with it. And again, that's only from what I can hear from this. And also, there's another one that I want to go and comment, and this is one that has not often been talked about, but another one that I feel like deserves some praise, and that's Keegan-Michael Key as Toad. This sounds nothing like Toad. This is completely different than the kind of character that you would always hear in the Mario games. And yet, there's something about it where it feels right. It actually feels natural. And not only that, but it actually does feel like this is a voice that would come from this character. Like, it honestly does feel like it's a voice that does work. And like and honestly, even at that, like, even if they would go into the original voice of Toad, it would get annoying, let's be honest. Like, you wouldn't want to hear a feature-length film where a good chunk of it you'll hear, "Oh no, come on, Mario, don't worry, this mushroom is fine." Oh, fudge. Here I am, starting this off talking about how I have tonsillitis and yet trying to do a Toad impression. Yeah, very smart of me, AniMat. No, but honestly, this one, I feel like it really does work, and I really do applaud what Keegan-Michael Key is doing, where he's giving us an original interpretation of Toad, but one that actually works, one that actually feels like, well, not the same as in the games, but it feels natural and it feels right, where we would hear that voice coming from this character in particular. So that's another one that I honestly do have to applaud. And then there is Mario himself. There is this voice.
What is this place?
And not only that, but we also got this one at the end.
Mushroom Kingdom, here we come.
Yeah, Chris Pratt as Mario. Now, you guys probably recall, ever since last year when it was first revealed that Chris Pratt would go and play the role of Mario, that's probably the biggest backlash that the movie has ever received, because Chris Pratt is not necessarily known to have a very versatile voice. Like, when you would think about many of his different roles, rather it be as Star-Lord in Guardians of the Galaxy, Emmett in the Lego Movie, or even his role in Community, or even what he did in Jurassic World, it really is that distinct, similar voice that you could tell that it's all coming from this one guy. That Chris Pratt is not necessarily a voice actor where he would go and have all these different ranges with his voice. So that's why a lot of people are, at best, very much unsure of how Chris Pratt would be as Mario, where you would see the image of what could possibly be one of the most popular fictional characters of all time, but having the same voice as Emmett from the Lego Movie. It just doesn't seem like something that it would work. And from the result that we would get in this trailer here, it looks like so far it's just confirming the assumptions that people may have when they think about the problems of what could be in the Super Mario Bros. Movie. Because from the lines that we have heard from Chris Pratt in this, it really sounds a whole lot like it's just Chris Pratt. Like, if you would go and have a listen to it again.
Kingdom,
Oops, hold on.
Mushroom Kingdom.
Son of a fish, hold on. Let me do that one more time. Third time's the charm.
Mushroom Kingdom, here we come.
Like, it feels like there's just very minimal effort in terms of actually doing a different voice, or at the very least do a voice that would actually sound like it would come from Mario, because like it is a massive obstacle that this movie is actually facing, considering that Chris Pratt is a massive big name actor, very recognizable no matter which movie he would go and appear in, and the same would actually go with his voice. And considering that he would now go and play a character like Mario, who sounds nothing like Chris Pratt, there really is kind of like that massive disconnect, and that it would take away a lot of the immersion, where like you want to you really want to go and immerse yourself in this new Super Mario Brothers world, but then you would hear Chris Pratt and it's like, oh yeah, that actor is playing Mario. Like, it takes away from the immersion. It takes away from like the experience to make you realize, oh yeah, I'm just watching a movie. And I just want to go and state right now that I know that there are people out there who are defending Chris Pratt as Mario. And there is one argument that they do have that is actually very much fair, where this is just a teaser trailer, and at the most, we've only heard a handful of lines. Like, the most that he would say in this, like, you can literally count with your fingers. Like, all the little grunts that he would make once he came out of the pipe, and then Mario whispering to himself, what is this place? And then suddenly right at the end, you would hear, Mushroom Kingdom, here we come. Okay, now that is definitely true that we should still be a bit more open with how his interpretation could be, and maybe, who knows, like, his performance could actually be pretty good, to the point where you can actually grow to get used to it, where you do accept that this is a new version of Mario and it could ultimately work out. That is a massive possibility, and I'll be open to that. But then again, there is also that argument, or the counter argument, if you will, that all the other actors so far, they have managed to nail their performances. Like Bowser, Toad, like, they only have the same handful of lines as Mario did, but like when you listen to Jack Black or Keegan-Michael Key, like, so far they have sold to us how they would sound as their respective characters. Even with some of the other actors, like Kevin Michael Richardson as Kamek. Like, it's very unexpected that he would be the voice of like that character, but it actually did work out. Or even a little bit of Charlie Day's performance right at the end. Like, if we just go back, like, it's just a bunch of little screams, but like, you would hear that it does sound a bit like Luigi. Like, just hearing those little screams and stuff like that, yeah, it would sell on the fact that it would indeed be Luigi doing that. But then with Chris Pratt, well, it just still sounds like Chris Pratt. In fact, the funny thing about with how Chris Pratt is performing is that, if anything, if there is a cartoon character that he does sound like, it's not necessarily Mario, but rather
Mushroom Kingdom, here we come.
It sounds a bit more like Linda Belcher from Bob's Burgers. And by the way, this animation is actually created by David Toons on Twitter. So if you want more funny animations like that, go and follow him there. But like, it is true. Like, when you do listen, like, it does have a bit of that inflection of Linda more so than actually Mario. And that's why right now we are seeing a lot of backlash and a lot of criticisms, mainly going towards Chris Pratt, in which he does not sound like Mario. And it has even gone to the point where now there are people out there that are trying to make petitions, and right now, like, they're trying to go and rally up in order to show more support for the original voice actor of Mario, Charles Martinet. In fact, Tara Strong, who is a good friend of Charles Martinet, she actually created this entire online campaign for everyone to go and show love to Charles Martinet, where they would all go and share their stories of how they've interacted with Charles Martinet and how much of a great voice actor that he is, you know, really lifting up Charles's spirits, and to show that he is very much loved, because I can imagine that, yeah, this is a very tough time where he's not rehired to go and do this very important Mario project and is replaced by this big name actor who sounds nothing like the character that he is well known for. In fact, like, it's pretty clear that Universal and Illumination, that they're just hiring Chris Pratt mainly for marketing purposes to say that, hey, we got this big name celebrity. And I will admit, I did participate in that, where I did share my story, where I remember back in, like, there was one year in Montreal Comic-Con where Charles Martinet did come in, and I mentioned how I barely met the guy because I spent more time meeting Mario and Wario through his voice, and it was such a magical moment. And I still stand by it when I say that Charles Martinet is the kind of voice actor that people should aspire to be, the kind of voice actor who just loves what he does what he loves, and even outside of the microphone, he's just having a blast, just being the beloved characters that people have come to know him. And I will say that, for me, in my opinion, if Illumination would go and suddenly take out Chris Pratt and replace him with Charles Martinet, of course, I would be more than happy with that. Like, at that point, I would be all in with the Super Mario Brothers movie. I would definitely be more excited than I would be before. And, like, I would definitely appreciate that. Like, I think, like, that would be an amazing idea. But again, there is the argument once again that maybe we should go and give Chris Pratt a chance. Maybe there is an opportunity for him to actually really prove himself that he can legitimately be Mario, and it's not just Chris Pratt lazily being the voice of Chris Pratt. Like, yeah, even in terms of my first impressions, I did not like how he was doing, and I did not like how he is sounding in this trailer here, but who knows? Maybe he could prove us wrong. But we shall see. But overall, though, this is to say that in terms of the first impressions that Illumination has given us with this movie, this is amazing. Like, I would say I'm about 90% satisfied, where outside of Chris Pratt's voice as Mario, everyone else did a phenomenal job. I love the animation. I love the character designs. I love how the animation is looking. There's so much of it, and I love especially how they are adapting the Mario world onto the big screen. Like, honestly, this really did succeed in its mission in really pumping me up. I'm truly excited for this. So yeah, like, I could say right now, Illumination is so far is doing an amazing job with this. I love the direction that it's going, and I can't wait for this movie to go and come out on April 7th of 2023. All right, so with that said, I would like to go into the chat wall, and I would like to ask you all, how do you all feel about the teaser trailer of the Super Mario Brothers movie? Are you all excited for it? Are you highly anticipated to see what's going on with it? Are you guys a little bit concerned? Let me know what you all think about this. Let's see. Oh, we got a first-time commenter. Okay, let's see now. I'm pretty hyped about the new Mario movie coming out. I agree with everyone else that It looks like Illumination's best looking film. I'm a little mixed about Chris Pratt as Mario, but Jack Black as Bowser, I'm calling it right now. He's going to steal the whole show. Oh yeah, and I'm just going to say also, apparently it's been confirmed that Bowser in this movie is going to have a musical number. I mean, when you're going to bring in Jack Black, you might as well take advantage of all of his talents. You might as well have Jack Black go all out if you're going to go with the crazy idea of having him play Bowser from the Mario games. So yeah, I think I think that like that's not even a prediction. That's going to be a fact. So I think that's like easy to go and guess right there. Let's see now. My thoughts on this trailer are it's a Mario time. Let's go. Now all we need is the minions singing the Super Mario Brothers theme song at the opening scene of the film's release. The animation is very detailed. Jack Black makes an excellent Bowser. And the world building is amazing. And if you listen carefully to Mario's voice, it sounds like he's gonna have a New York accent instead of Italian, even though it sounds like Linda. Also, I wonder who Charles Martinet is going to voice in this movie. I don't know, honestly. I guess we will see on what role he's going to take, but I don't know. I'll be looking forward to that, though. I definitely will. All right, let's see what we got here. Well, this is officially a must-watch. The animation is absolutely stellar. The Mario 64 penguins finally getting their revenge after being thrown off many cliffs is really funny. And while Linda Belcher, Chris Pratt as Mario, will take some time getting used to, the Jack Black and Keegan-Michael Key voices are great. But I will say I wasn't expecting that voice from Kamek, seriously. With Kevin Michael Richardson in the role, I was imagining Kamek with a smooth and buttery voice of an angel. Oh yeah, the old Wizard Koopa suddenly having like a smooth, beautiful voice, just like what Kevin did with the lizard character in Uncle Grandpa. Yeah, sure, pal. Keep on dreaming, my dude. Let's see now. As a huge Mario fan, this trailer exceeded my expectations. The animation is absolutely beautiful and easily Illumination's best film visually. The designs stay true to the games, and most of the voice acting is great, especially Jack Black as Bowser. However, I am still unsure about Chris Pratt as Mario because of how it just sounds like he's doing a regular voice, but maybe it will grow on me. But overall, I'm still extremely excited for this movie and is one of my most anticipated films of 2023. All right. Let's see. What else do we have here? This seems to be Illumination's magnum opus. Still very early to say there. Based on this teaser, I was right to be cautiously optimistic about this one. I like how this Super Mario Brothers movie continues to break the video game movie curse, which ironically got started with the live-action Super Mario Brothers movie nearly 30 years ago. So far, everything nearly looks and feels faithful to the games. As for Chris Pratt, I get the discourse, but I don't think 2 lines are enough to judge his Mario. I'm gonna need to hear more from him first. Okay, that's fair. Perfectly fair. Let's see. All right. I'll admit the trailer was better than I thought it would be. I was expecting to give it an F, but I'm pleasantly surprised and I gave it a B-. Illumination nailed the visuals and the musical score sounds excellent. No surprise, but I'm still not sold on Chris Pratt and Charlie Day as Mario and Luigi, but Jack Black makes a surprisingly excellent Bowser. I wouldn't say this could be Illumination's Spider-Verse, but I believe it could at least be their Kung Fu Panda. Yeah, and by the way, there's also another thing in terms of Chris Pratt that I feel like it just doesn't really make sense, is that considering that it was a Nintendo Direct that it showed, there was a moment where Chris Pratt was talking about, oh man, I always loved playing Mario. And honestly, I don't think he sounds convincing where he sells the idea that he's a lifelong Mario fan. Like, he's trying to say that he's always played the game since they were in the arcades and in the home consoles, and that it was his lifelong dream to play as Mario. But I just can't buy that. I don't really believe that it really is like Chris Pratt's dream. And even throughout all that, like, it shows that he may not be as knowledgeable on Mario as he's trying to sell it. So I don't know. It just seems a little bit phony that he's trying to say like, oh, I've always been a Mario fan. It's always been my dream. Like, he was really overselling it to the point where you could smell the fakeness in his statements. Let's see. What other comments do we have? The trailer has me interested for the movie, and Jack Black shows that he's very versatile. As for Chris Pratt as Mario, I'm a bit mixed. On one hand, yeah, he does not sound like Mario, but on the other hand, do you think it would be better if Chris Pratt uses an Italian accent? Also, heard people saying Mario sounds like he has a Brooklyn accent. Now I just wanted to see Mario to go and yell out Brooklyn Rage while riding a Red Eyes Black Dragon. Who the fridge knows, man. All right, I think I'm going to read one more comment before we move on to our next story. Let's see here. Mamma mia, in terms of first impressions, Illumination has just knocked it out of the park. The visuals are a great mix of both a Nintendo and Illumination style. The animation looks incredible, and while Chris Pratt may not be that good so far, the other voice actors sound pretty great, and they fit their characters rather well, especially Jack Black as Bowser. Nintendo has certainly put their trust well in Illumination, and I hope to see more of this Super Nintendo World promo very soon. Yes, so if you are all excited for the Super Mario Bros. Movie, which it seems like a lot of people are, and very enthusiastically so, and understandably so, then keep in mind that the movie will be released in theaters on April 7th of next year.